So, let me start with a self-introduction again. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Sherry, and welcome to the SmartPrep Day 1. I've been a university admissions counselor at Success for over 3.5 years, and I've helped several students work on university applications, university preparation, major selection applications, and scholarship applications, and sometimes even career planning. So, one thing that I have noticed is that many students they spent months researching on which university they want to go to, what what major they want to study, what they want to do after university. But I find that very few students really spent time searching about what they want to study, and very little time trying to understand what are their interests, what are their career goals. So that's why I feel that a lot of them often feel confused about what major to choose. So today's session, as the title suggests, is going to help you make that process just a little bit easier so you understand what your interests, goals, and so what they are, and then so that you have a clear idea what you want to study as you go on to university. Okay, so before we begin, let's do a little self-reflection. Okay, so how many of you here already know what major you want to study, or how many of you are still unsure? How many feel pressure from your family, relatives, or even society about what you should study? And lastly, how many have already changed your mind several times already? You can simply react, or you can keep it to yourself. That's all right. But if you said yes to any of these questions, I wanted to let you know that it's completely normal. But let me start by saying something that I think many students should hear. If you don't know what major you want to study yet, that's completely normal. That's okay. If you change your mind several times about what you want to study, that's okay too. And if you're feeling stressed because everyone around you maybe already know what they want to study, and they've already figured out what they want to do in life, that's okay. You're not alone. I've worked with hundreds of students, and one thing that I've learned is that uncertainty is completely normal. It's completely normal part of the application process. So, again, today's session isn't about um, finding the perfect answer. It's about helping you feel a little bit more confident about your next step. Um, is my screen full screen? Full screen menyala mati. Kenali, no?
Oh,
Yes, share
yeah,
view.
Madison.
Um, okay. Oh, sorry, meow. Kenali, no? Hali bosan bila ito ne. Okay. So, as I said, today's session is not about helping you find the perfect answer or the perfect major, but it's about helping you feel just a little bit more confident in your next steps. Okay. So, when our parents are growing up, the choices were often much simpler. Today, there are hundreds and thousands of careers that didn't exist 15 years ago. And I mean, if you look back 10 years ago, there probably wouldn't have been UI UX designer, or even probably AI jobs. But today, that has all changed. So that's why if choosing a major feels overwhelming, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're trying to make an important decision in a world with more possibilities than ever. There are several reasons, even beyond these 6 reasons, that make choosing a major feel difficult. So, first, there's simply too many opportunities and too many options available. Second, many students are afraid of making the wrong choice. And sometimes family expectations can also influence your decisions, especially in certain cultures like here, where certain careers like being a doctor or being an engineer are seen as more prestigious. And social media can also make it seem like everyone has already had their life figured out. And of course, many students also focus on income without considering whether they would actually enjoy the work. The good news is that choosing a major doesn't have to be a perfect decision. It just needs to be a well-informed, a researched one. All right. All right. So I know that many students think that when you start with what you want to study, they start with what major should I study? But actually, the first question is, who am I? So you have your interests, your strengths, your personality, and your values. Because if you don't understand yourself and what you want, it's very difficult to choose a path that makes you happy in the long term. So there are four things to think about, as I've mentioned earlier: interests, personality, strengths, values. And these are what can give you clues about what type of environment and career might suit us. All right. So I've met students who were excellent at science, but because they worked hard and they got good grades. But when we talked a little bit more, they realized they actually maybe enjoyed business and communication and leadership more than anything within the science field. And I've also met students that love art and but they were afraid to pursue it because people told them that it wasn't a practical or like a real major. But the thing that I want to help you understand today is that the goal isn't for you to choose what other people think you should do. The goal is to understand what energizes you and what kind of work you can see yourself enjoying for years because you are going to be working until you retire. So it is very important that you find something that you enjoy and something that you are also good at. I mean, can you think of, a subject that you're good at but don't enjoy? I mean, I personally don't like math. I don't think I've ever gotten an A in math during my school years. I did get it once in university. I think that was the only time that I got math. But even then, I'm interested in business, and I know business does require a lot of numbers and math. But even then, it's okay. Like, you don't always have to be like a pro at things that you enjoy. All right. So, another thing that I want to add on is that your personality also matters. Do you enjoy working with people or do you enjoy working independently? Do you prefer structure, schedules, or do you prefer flexibility? And do you enjoy leading teams or do you prefer solving technical problems? So, different majors and different careers have different working styles. All right. And I think this is where parents become most involved and engaged. So, parents often want their children to have stable and successful careers. And that's completely understandable. But success can mean very different things to very different people. For some people, success might mean a high income salary. For others, it may mean being able to spend time with family. For others, it could be like creativity, being able to do what they want, being able to create. Or sometimes it could be helping others. It could be, feeling good about what you do, feeling good that you get to help other people. And so a successful career is not always one that's it's not always one that you see on social media. It's one that aligns with your personal definition of success and what you feel is most important to you. All right. So I want everyone to remember this, that there is no major that guarantees success. And there's no major that also automatically leads to failure. What matters most is what you do with the opportunities that are available to you. I mean, I've seen students choose less popular majors and still go on to do really great things. And I've seen students also choose prestigious majors like medicine or engineer. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen them choose majors simply because um, this is what was told of them. And I've seen them feel unhappy about what they've chosen because they felt that this path wasn't right for them. So the goal here isn't to find the best major. The goal is to find the best fit for you because sometimes the best major for you is not the best major for other people. So again, today we're going to help you find and understand what the best fit is, what the best fit looks like for you. All right. So if you're still unsure, there are many tools that can help. These three are the ones that I've personally tried and that I would recommend. I mean, just a disclaimer, you do have to create an account, but then again, I think a lot of websites these days require you to sign up and create some sort of account. So these are the three that I feel like will help you most. If you want to take a photo, you can, so that you can come back to this at a later time. So personality assessments, 16 personalities. That's a great website. And I think there's a little QR code on the side that you can scan and it takes you right to the website. So personality assessments, they help you understand how you learn, how you work, and while career assessments like the Princeton Review and Career Explorer, they suggest careers based on your interests and strengths. And I mean, these tools shouldn't make the decision for you, but they can provide a very useful guidance. All right, so this is just a snapshot of what you can expect after you've taken the test. Out of all of this, I would say the Princeton review was probably the shortest, whereas Career Explorer actually took me a very long time, a very long time. I think it was like 20 minutes. So just a heads up. Here, as you can see, these are my personal results. I mean, I didn't imagine myself like becoming a counselor when I was in high school. I mean, I took business management, but here I am, I'm a counselor. And if you look here on the top left, you can see it's 16 personalities. They give you a glimpse of what your personality is like. You get to see what sort of careers fit you, how you learn best, how you work with other people, um, what works best for you. And then if you look at the bottom, the Princeton Review, so this is just sharing what kind of personality you have. And then if you look at the other tab here, they also have recommended careers. This is the shortest one if you're looking for something quick. And then if you look over here, Career Explorer, I feel that this was actually the most useful one for me. Here, they share a glimpse of what your personality traits are like, and then they've recommended top careers. And actually, funnily enough, they're all careers that I've worked in. I feel like a counselor, not a psychologist counselor, but more of like a school counselor. And then you have marketing, which I worked in before this. So I hope that these tools help you. All right, moving on. Okay, so let's explore some of the major categories that are available at universities. And as we go through each of the categories, I don't want you to think which one makes the most money. I want you to think which of these sounds interesting, or which skills do I already enjoy using, or which type of problems would I enjoy solving daily? Because these questions are much more useful. So let's start with business. All right. So business is actually one of the most flexible fields. Students learn about actually all of this: marketing, finance, and accounting, entrepreneurship, and how organizations operate. And it's a good option for students who enjoy leading, who enjoy like communicating with others, who enjoy working in teams and solving problems. So for me personally, um, I remember when I had to make that choice of what I wanted to study in university. But even then, I wasn't in 11th grade. I was actually, I think, in ninth grade. I was doing my A levels. I was doing my A levels. And back then, it was, I think, 2012, 2013. Many of you might have been kids back then, but so it was back in 2012, 2013. I was picking my subjects for A levels. And I remember there being only two options for me to pick. It was either business or it was bio. And as someone that does not enjoy science, I don't enjoy dissecting frogs. Not that we had to dissect any frogs, but as someone that didn't enjoy science, the only option I had at that time was business. So I guess the decision was kind of made for me, business, but then I also noticed how I actually enjoyed business class. I enjoyed hearing my teacher talk about business problems and writing solutions to it. Maybe I was just making it up, but along the way as I write, but it was actually pretty fun for me. So that's when I knew I wanted to do business. And another thing as well, what I like about business is that it's a very flexible major. I feel that these days, most students pick business when they don't know what they want to study yet because it's one that where you can go on onto several fields. So I started with business, but then the careers that have recently worked is project management. So I I worked as a project management executive for I think nearly 3 years, and then I moved to KBZ Bank where I worked as the CEO's PMO, project management officer, for a little less than a year, and then I realized I was also interested in marketing, so I worked in marketing for a year, and I think that's very interesting because with business, there's a lot of fields that you can study, and if you are someone that's interested in any of these and in these careers and these are the skills that you have already, then maybe business might be something worth exploring. All right, so enough about business. Let's move on to the next one, engineering. Okay, so these are the common majors, the skills needed, and possible careers. So within engineering as well, there are many different branches of engineering. There's mechanical, civil, electrical, software, chemical. I don't know the what the difference is between some of them, but I know that more and more students are going for engineering. I see a lot of them go for civil, chemical, mechanical, um, and most of them also actually already possess these skills. They're good at math, they know how to think logically, they like problem solving, and they already have I mean technical skills you learn it in university. And in terms of possible careers, you have infrastructure, manufacturing, technology, and more. So, um, it's a focus on, designing and building solutions to real world. So if you're someone that enjoys math, science, tech, and problem solving, this might be the major for you. All right. So medicine and health sciences. Okay. So even within medicine, there are many different majors that you could go for. You could go for, medicine itself. You could go for dentistry. You could go for pharmacy. You could go for nursing, public health, biomed, biomed. Yeah. And oftentimes, the skills that you need are going to be, you need to be disciplined and you need to be committed because uh, committing to medicine means that you're probably going to be doing 6, 7, 8, or even more years of schooling. So this is a path where you need to be committed, you need to be disciplined. At the same time, you need to be compassionate, you need to be patient, you need to problem solve and know how to work with teams. So um, s- like I said, students typically need a strong commitment um, because you're going to be in school for a very long time. But once you're done with schooling, there's so many possible careers that you could go for. I mean, you don't always have to take medicine and go for a doctor. You could do clinical research. I mean, I know students that go for medicine, but they don't want to be a doctor. They want to go into research. So there are so many fields that you can choose, you can go into with just a major. You could go into pharmacist or you could go into psychiatry. There are plenty. So this is medicine and health sciences for you. All right. So IT and computer science. This is an increasingly popular field today. All right, so common majors. You have software development, AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, data science, UI, UX, and you have comp sci. So, um, it's becoming very important. Students may study software development, AI, cybersecurity, data science, computer science, and this field suits students who enjoy logical thinking, who enjoy solving problems, and the possible careers that you can go into are going to be within these fields. You could go into software, you could go into data and AI, you could go into security infrastructure, and many more. All right, this is IT and computer science. All right, so the next one, arts, media, and creative fields. So creative majors are often much broader than many people realize. They could include graphic design, animation, film, communications, fashion photography. There's even fashion management, and media production. So oftentimes, these fields can lead to careers in advertising, design, publishing, content creation, and entertainment. These are just some of the skills listed here that will help you in this field. And actually, funny thing, I don't see a lot of um, students go for these fields. So it's very refreshing when they tell me that they're interested in film or they're interested in architecture. So um, this is just sharing from personal experience. All right. The next one, social sciences. Well, this is actually a field that I think I've seen a lot more students pursue these days as well. So social sciences. Social science, they focus on understanding people, societies, and human behaviors. As you can see, examples here include psychology, economics, international relations, sociology, political science, anthropology, and many more. And oftentimes many students are surprised by how like versatile this major is because these majors can also lead to careers in business, or you could work in government roles, or you could go into research, counseling, marketing, and many other fields. So these are the possible careers that I've stated earlier. All right. Okay. So now that we've gone through common fields, common career paths and skills needed for each of them, I there's one thing that I want to share here. So I think many students secretly worry, like, what if I choose the wrong major? I mean, I have students ask me that all the time. What if I chose this? Or maybe they're conflicted between two majors. They're like, what if I choose the wrong major? But the truth is that very few people follow a perfectly straight path. I mean, life doesn't work that way. Many adults working today are doing jobs that, didn't even exist when they were in high school. I mean, like I said earlier, I I didn't think that I would be a counselor, a teacher when I was in high school. I thought I would be like a businesswoman, I would be my own boss. We're getting there, but before that, I'm a counselor, I'm a teacher. So your major influences your future, but it doesn't lock you to one future forever. So, for example, if you go over business, there's so many career paths that you could go for. And these are just a few. You could go for marketing, you could go for HR, you could go for consulting, and perhaps even a psychology student might work in counseling. They could work in HR, or they could go for user experience research. The same thing for biology and computer science. So a computer science graduate, they might become a software engineer, or they could be a cybersecurity specialist, or even a project manager. So what I want to emphasize here is that your major influences your future, but it doesn't completely determine it. So there's no such thing as choosing the wrong major, because there are so many possibilities that can come from a major. Right. Okay. Don't make these mistakes, please. So, when choosing a major, try not to follow friends. Try to, not to choose only based on salary, on the income. Don't ignore your personal interests. Don't choose only because career, this major sounds cool. Um, and always do research before you decide that this is the major that you want to go into. So the goal is to balance between interest, your ability, your opportunity, and sometimes your financial reality. And also remember, it's okay to be unsure. Many students change major. I mean, I changed major when I was in university. I was one semester away from graduating, and I decided to change my major one semester before graduating. But granted, it wasn't a completely different major. So I started with, I don't remember it anymore, but it was called social innovation. I think it was business social innovation. I mean, maybe some of you have heard of it, maybe you haven't, but I started with social innovation. And then I think, like I said, one semester before I graduated, I thought to myself, is this a major that can help me get a job? Will people even know what social innovation is, especially as an international student coming back to Myanmar? Will people know what a social innovation major is? I decided to change last minute, but the good thing is that because it was a business major, I only had to do an additional semesters. So instead of one semester, I had to do two more semesters. So sometimes it's okay. It's okay to change majors. But of course, you may just have to take more classes, or maybe if they're completely different fields, the school might not let you. So, um, but then again, it's okay to change majors. Many professionals, they change careers. Um, I mean, I started in project management, but I'm in marketing now. So it's okay to change majors. And exploration is a completely normal part of the process. You're going to be exploring from university, from high school, university, up until college. So exploring is normal. Um, it's okay, but just don't make these mistakes. All right, like I said, reiterating again in bigger font this time, it's okay to be unsure. Um, if you only remember one slide from today's session, I hope it's this one. It's okay to be unsure. It's okay to explore. It's okay to change your mind. I mean, some of the most successful people in the world changed their mind before multiple times before finding the right path. And that's something that we'll explore in the later part of the section, the session. And sometimes your future is not decided by one decision. What major am I going to study at 17? Okay. So this is something to help you get a better idea of how to plan your career roadmap. This is this is where you are now. This is where you're gonna go to university. And then when you go into university, you're gonna gain experience, you're gonna gain knowledge, you're gonna gain academic knowledge, and perhaps you'll even have the opportunity to do some internships in university. Some programs require that you do internships before you graduate, so you're going to get experience. And after that, you're going to go off into your career. And maybe it's not, I know it's not as easy as I make it out to be, but this is just something to help you get started. So consider your short-term goals and long-term goals. Focus on what you can do now. Right now, you can explore majors, you can build your skills, you can improve your grades, you can try out activities and internships. Your long-term goals, um, after university, that's going to be your career direction, your lifestyle goals, and your personal growth. But what I want to emphasize here is that you don't need to have your entire future figured out today. All right, so what you can start doing today. So instead, start focusing on taking small steps. So research careers. I mean, the tools earlier, Career Explorer, 16 Personalities, the Princeton Review are certainly a good start. If you don't know where to start there. Look at majors that look at your interests, look at careers that are recommended for you, and research into them. Does any of them stand out to you? Are you particularly interested in any of them? Do you see yourself in this major? Do you see yourself in this career, in this job? And sometimes talk to teachers and professionals because uh, they've gone through where you are today. I mean, they have experience. They can give you helpful advice. And you can also join activities, competitions, and volunteer experiences. Sometimes you need to you need to actually be doing it to know whether or not you enjoy it or you don't enjoy it. And next is take online courses. So there are actually a lot of online courses, course materials available for you. I mean, there are great ones that are offered by UniLearn, but at the same time, there are also ones that are offered through Coursera, LinkedIn Learning. There's Udemy, there's edX. Granted, these are paid, but most of them, I guess, but um, you can still explore them. You can still read through the modules, you can still watch videos. So, if you're, for instance, interested in finance, take up a finance course, see if it's something that you're actually interested in. These are the things that you can start doing today to help you get a better idea of where you want to be in the future. But most importantly, continue developing these skills. Communication, critical thinking, teamwork, adaptability, and leadership, because regardless of whatever major you choose to go, these will help you succeed regardless of whatever major you choose. And these skills are transferable. They're what employers want. So regardless of major, continue developing these skills. All right, final advice. So many students feel that they need like a perfect plan. And I've met students that have everything figured out. But at the same time, I've also met students that don't know where to start. So what I want to share today is that you don't need a perfect plan. You just need like a direction. So maybe like think of it like traveling at night. Like you can't see the entire road because it's dark and you just need like enough light to at least see what your next steps are. And right now, your job isn't to know exactly where you'll be in 10 years, even though that's the question that most universities and I think employers ask of you, even your teachers, where do you want to be in 10 years? I mean, you don't have to have that all figured out. Your job is to simply keep learning about yourself, like what I mentioned here, your interests, strengths, personality, values, and exploring opportunities, taking online courses, joining activities, and just taking the next steps forward. And I mean, if you do that consistently, you'll start to realize your personal interest and what you want to do in the future. It'll just become much clearer for you. All right. So that is actually the end of my presentation. I think we'll have a Q&A session after our activity session. So I'm going to move on to an activity session. I just want to check with the UniLearn team if there's anything that they want to add at this point. Okay. I will take that as a no, and then we'll move on to our activity session. All right. So this activity session is called, oh, okay, you're back. Is there anything you want to add before we move on?
No, no, teacher.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry，我听讲完了。
It's okay. All right. So this activity session is called What Major Do You Think They Studied? And I think you'll recognize most of the people that I added here, including the last one. All right, so I'm gonna show you a few people on the screen, and for each person shown on the screen, I want you to guess what major they studied. So I'll give everyone about 30 seconds to 30 seconds to think about it before revealing the answer. And as we go through this as well, I want you to pay attention to an important lesson that we'll come back to later. So how to participate is you'll see the reactions that are available, and then I'll have the person and then the a list of majors, possible majors that they could have studied, and then next to the majors, I'll have a reaction. So I want you to react with what major you think they studied based on the reaction that's next to the major. All right, so let's get started. All right, give me a moment. Okay, so Steve Jobs. I'm sure everyone knows Steve Jobs. All right. So, what major do you think they studied? I'm gonna give everyone 30 seconds. The timer is gonna show up, and I want you to react with what major you think they studied. All right. Starting the countdown. Okay. Business, computer science, English literature. Okay. Okay. All right. 9, 8, 7. Okay. So Steve Jobs actually studied English literature. I mean, okay, going back. So he actually studied English literature. I mean, who would have thought Steve Jobs? I mean, you'd expect him to have at least studied business or um, computer science because that's what his career would have suggested. But no, actually, he studied English literature. All right. So the next person is Elon Musk. All right, so I'm going to start the timer, and I want everyone to react to what you think he studied. All right, starting the timer. Economics. Okay, that's possible. Okay, economics. Okay, see a lot. Aerospace engineering. I mean, that's very possible, right? He is the founder of SpaceX. Okay, but physics. Yeah, possible. Okay. All right. So he actually studied physics. So to everyone who reacted physics, congrats, he studied physics, but at the same time, he also studied economics. I mean, he didn't study aerospace engineering. So, you don't always have to have studied the major to be where you are today. So this is just reiterating what I shared earlier. All right, so the next person is Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Okay, so these are the options. I'm gonna start the timer. Please react with what you think he studied. Finance, okay. Finance, okay. I see someone pick marketing, okay. All right. So he actually studied electrical engineering and computer science. All right. So moving on to the next person, Bill Gates. Okay, so this one's actually very interesting because when I was looking for it, it wasn't very easy to find. Um, all right, so these are the options. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds and please react with what major you think they studied. Philosophy. Oh wait, no, law. Okay. I hope you guys aren't Googling this, by the way. Philosophy, okay. Law. Some people are suspicious. All right. So, to those that picked law, you're right, he studied law. Okay. I mean, I was pretty surprised when I found out, but yeah. Okay. So, all right. I think this is our second to last. So, Mark Zuckerberg. Everyone knows. Okay. These are the options. I'm going to start a timer. Please react with what you think he studied. Oh, yeah. I picked the latest photo of him. All right. No Googling this time. I see some people taking longer to react. Okay. So, someone said computer science. Okay. I see computer science. I see psychology. Okay. Psychology. I see a lot of psychology. Okay. All right. So, he did study psychology. And let me just make sure that this is the only. Okay, so he studied psychology and computer science. I mean, if you think about it, like understanding people's thought, I mean, like that's one of the reasons he was able to build such a successful social media platform that, went on to becoming Meta and more. All right. So, okay, so this is um the last person that we have here. I'm sure many of you know him as Mr. Bean. I used to watch his movies growing up. So he is a actor and a comedian. So these are the options available. I'm going to start a timer and I just want you guys to guess what he studied because it's actually very easy to Google it. Please do not Google it. All right. So starting the timer. Marketing, electrical engineering, political science. Political science, marketing, okay. Anyone thinks he studied film? I mean, he's a great actor, comedian. He must have studied something, right? All right. So he actually studied electrical engineering. So to those of you that got it correct, maybe by a random guess, congratulations. Okay. So the main message that I want to share through this activity is that um, people often end up in careers that are completely different from what we expect. And success is not always limited to a specific major. I mean, look at Bill Gates. He was studying to become a lawyer, but he became a multi-billionaire, trillionaire through like Microsoft. All right, so I think this is the last person for our activity. If I move on to the next one, it will probably be Q&A. So can I hand it back to the UniLearn team?